Welcome to SQL Day 2025. So if you don't know us, we are a data community. Who is for the first time here on SQL Day? Wow, loads of you, loads of you. So we always say that we are not any religious sect. We are just data professionals. And we are like an association which works like for many, many years. We organize this event and also other events in other cities since 2000s or something like that. And you can find us on datacommunity.pl. Our all activities are presented there. So, so if you came here and you met us for the first time, you can continue that journey further. So for this day and tomorrow, we've got 50 sessions for you from almost 70 speakers. And if you don't know, we've got a party tonight. So you're not leaving these premises until midnight, or maybe even later. And we also prepared Ask the Expert session, which is going to happen something around 7 p.m. And we, at the end of the other part of this venue, like towards the place where you eat your lunch, we also have our own place. It will be called Community Zone. You can come and talk to us about our activities in those bigger cities which we are present in. And this event wouldn't be almost nothing without our sponsors. So I would like to ask Datumo on the stage. Big shout out. Here we go.
So hello, I'm Rafał Rozpątek, VP of Engineering at Datumo. And it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you at the SQL Day conference. And now I would like to share a few words about Datumo, and I will share also some fun results of a survey that we conducted among our Datumo developers. So Datumo was founded in 2017. Since that time we delivered over 40 long-term projects. Currently we have over 60 experts on the board. We are present on 7 international markets as well as in Poland, and we are a fully remote company. We are partners of Microsoft Azure, Snowflake, Databricks, and Google Cloud. Here is also a nice quote about Datumo, that Datumo is all about people, data, cloud, and AI solutions. And I would like to bring 2 things here. The first one is that we have a very low employee turnover rate, which means that if you decide to cooperate with us, probably you will stay for a longer period of time, so make your decision wisely. And the second thing is that Datumo originally started as a product company. Our product was open source based data platform built around Apache Druid. Not sure how many of you are familiar with this technology. But yes, you are right, it was inspired by RPG D&D character Druid. And later on, we shifted more towards consultancy model, but we are still benefiting from the product as we are using its parts as modules to speed up and enhance process of development and implementation of modern data platforms. So moving to survey, as today we have SQL Day, we asked our developers few questions regarding SQL. The purpose of first one was to divide them into 3 groups, those who wrote up to 1,000 queries, up to 10,000 queries, and over 10,000 queries. We like to call them millennials, Gen X, and boomers, because writing 10,000 queries with assumption that you write single query a day, will take you over 27 years. So the first question was, do you use lower or uppercase when you write SQL queries? And here, as we can see, there is strong shift towards uppercase for our boomers, and we wonder why. So probably uppercase can help with declining eyesight over the years. And the second question was about linters. Do I use linters to format my SQL query? And once again, expert does not use linters. And probably that's because they can format it better and faster than a linter does. And the last question was an eternal debate. Do we pronounce SQL as SQL or as SQL? And here there is again strong trend for SQL, and that was very hard for us to assess from what it comes from. So we came with the solution that saying SQL is probably faster by approximately 0.1 second, and multiply it by 27 years of query writing, you will save something like 60 minutes. And that's the kind of optimization that we like to do in Datumo. Okay, moving beyond our survey to our services, Datumo is focused around data. So we create data platforms, we modernize, we migrate data platforms, we engineer data pipelines. We perform observability and FinOps, we create real-time systems, and also we develop and deploy AI models. So technologies that we like to use are listed here. Of course, not every single technology is on this slide, but as our foundation was based on open source, we still like to use open source in our projects, probably because of three main things: that it's cheaper, it's more flexible, it gives us a bit of vendor agnostic solutions because we can deploy solutions built upon open source on every cloud provider. And I believe that also it's a great place to start to gather knowledge because most of the commercial solutions are based or were inspired by open source. So you will have easier time to understand the commercial ones. And also, as we are partners of Microsoft Azure, Snowflake, Databricks, and Google Cloud, you will find plenty of projects regarding those data platform providers at Datumo. So I posted here an architecture of CDP. If you want to know more about customer data platforms, then please visit us at our booth. But the main purpose of this slide was to present how Datumo approaches data architecture, that we always like to do it from functional perspective. We create it in a modular way. Every module has its own purpose, and then we can treat technology as a tool and choose the best tool to fulfill the requirements, because high-level architecture can be the same for customer data platforms for various clients, but it can be implemented in a very different way. So meet us and our booth. I will be there with my colleagues. We will be glad to hear about your experiences and about your challenges, and also we will share our use cases and knowledge with you. Today and tomorrow, Datumo has 4 sessions, and I encourage you to join them because I assure you that there will be quality content. The first 2 will be conducted by Maciek Kępa, our MLOps expert and Azure architect. He will shed some light how to start journey with AI and ML, and also will speak about observability platform. The second, our senior Snowflake data engineer, together with Viola from Żabka company, will talk about implementing data marts and data sharing in Snowflake. And the last but not least, Wojtek, our data architect, Databricks enjoyer, will tell us a bit about lessons learned from building scalable, that Databricks-oriented data platform. So that will be all from me. Thank you for attention and enjoy the upcoming 2 days of conference.
Thank you, Rafael. Big shout out to Datumo, our platinum sponsor. And now I would like to invite another platinum sponsor, Woodler. Scream for them.
Thank you. Good morning to all. My name is Michael Tintoffer and I am Chief Vision Officer at Woodler. We are the company basically based in Middle Europe and focusing on SQL Server performance tuning and monitoring. Before I start with the presentation, I would like to say thank you for all of you coming to the conference and organizer to making it possible. I believe it is proud to be there with you as a data community, because we also believe that without data you are just another person with an opinion. And I think that this describes also what we are trying to do with SQL servers. Our company is basically focusing only on SQL Server product stack. We are not doing anything else. And we are doing so because we believe that if you focus your attention on one thing, you can achieve better level of excellence and could help people with their usual ordinary issues with SQL Server performance, for example, or challenges like licensing and costing the SQL Server, which is not cheap product. So let me start with a few words about our history. We started in 2009 in Slovakia as a small consulting company, focusing primarily on firefighting for customer-facing servers with performance issues. And then the people starting to ask us also for knowledge sharing, so we started with the trainings for them and helping the customers in architectural point of view. But what happens later is that the customers wanted us to provide more continuous service deliveries, so we were not focusing only on one-time projects, and this requires us to extend our team basically. And as we're extending the team, we're extending also the customer base, and we are currently operating in those countries in Europe. If I could somehow describe what we are doing with the customers from the beginning, we have several product stacks or services which could be very helpful. First of it is more than an audit service. At the beginning of every cooperation with the customer, they would like to see what we are capable of, so we are showing them through the audit service, which is one-time product used for example, 24 hours when we are monitoring their server, and then describing the most important painful points we found on the server. So this will give the customer the tools and data about his server, so he could better understand where the problems are and which kind of problems the server have. We're also providing him with the data about the queries and about the possible solutions for those cases. What is the usual next step is fixing those problems with the customer. Maybe he could fix it by himself, or maybe he doesn't know how to solve the specific kind of issue, so we can guide him or help him to solve those problems. And before we jump into resolution, we usually talk about how to interpret the results, how to monitor the impact of those changes we are providing. So we usually provide customer with short-term monitoring solution, for example, for a few months. And during those few months, we are deploying the fixes with the customer and confirming through the monitoring that the issues has been resolved. And what usually happens then is that the customer would like to stay with us for a longer time period, not just a few months. So he will keep the monitoring on server. He would like to maybe use our services a little bit more. So we are getting to be a part of his internal database team and providing the customer DBA team with our competency and troubleshooting services, or probably coverage for out of office hours if needed, or participating in specific projects, like for example migration, consolidation, or for example updating the SQL Server to newer version with new configuration, which could be challenging process. One of the best services or flagship services we have, we call load tests. It's a couple of steps which ensures that during the process of, for example, migration to new SQL Server, you will be able to also enable all the bells and whistles from new SQL Server on your production mission critical SQL Server. And this is done by doing the replays of production workload in test environments, which we then monitor and could describe very precisely how the queries are behaving in that production or sandbox environment. And after that, we can like pinpoint the best possible configuration for the server from hardware and SQL Server configuration perspective or database perspective. And then if there are any regressed queries, which could even in that best configuration happen, then we are like giving the customer the hotfix scripts to resolve those cases, replay the workload again, and describe the final state. By that, we have been able to, for example, migrate mission-critical SQL servers from very old versions like 2008 to 2022 with all new configurations enabled and even better performance than it was on the old solution. And what customers usually think about that cooperation at the end is that they want to know more. So consulting and training for the customer DBA teams are our daily breath also. From the business perspective, we also providing customers with options to optimize licensing or saving cost on cloud resources. As you may imagine, this could be very costly if not done properly. And customers also telling us that our 24/7 service is very welcome addition to the stack of their own DBA team, because we are like quick in answering their calls and helping the customers on resolution of the queries or issues. At the end, let me just tell you something about one example from our customer where we focused more on saving the resources. We had a client who was like having problems with a big managed instance, which actually for which he actually pays monthly this price. And we have implemented our monitoring and what I have said previously, the process of onboarding to the customer server. And after a while, we have been able to achieve very serious cost savings by shrinking the production machine from 24 cores to 8 cores. And at the left side, you can see that how much the customer saves. So I believe that this is something which could be interesting also for you. And if you would like to know something about those processes, you can visit us on our booth. And we can also talk about our monitoring a little bit more, where I believe that this tool provides you with many dimensions regarding SQL Server performance counters, which you can use during your root cause analysis of performance issues. And those are very helpful when you are making your decision what is going on the server. And you can like save a lot of time by having data in front of you instead of just thinking about what I would like to collect next to describe the situation. So I believe that this is something which could help your DBA admins to also learn more about the SQL Server, how to interpret various metrics, and have data in your hand in front of the facing issue. So by this monitoring, we have been able to make things faster because our team is not that big. So, and we have many servers to support. So we are saving like 10 to 40% depending on the user cases on time spent by resolution of the issues. So if you are interested in this topic or you have any challenges from your side, please welcome us or come to us on our booth, and we can like have a nice discussion about the problems. And for those who will have the most of the questions, we have nice goodies to choose from. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Woodler. They are our platinum sponsors. Thanks, Emil. And now, gold ones. So, here we go. First one is Software One. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Krzysztof Bogucki, and I have this privilege to represent Software One today on this wonderful event. we are second time in a row to be a gold sponsor in this event, and just for the one that don't know our company, we are the company, global company, noted on a stock exchange that has Swiss roots. The history of company comes from selling the license, but then the company turns to deliver not only the license but also professional services. And right now, if you look, half of these people, more than 4,000 people, are the engineers, system engineers, but also data engineers and people that works with infrastructure that serves different solutions to our customers. And maybe if you think about the software one, think about the company that helps you with managing your IT assets, or help customers to managing the IT assets, optimize it. So we help our customers to optimize costs of clouds, but also cost of the license. And also we build the solutions. We build the infrastructure in the cloud, but also we build the data platforms, and that's the part that I'm representing here today. Apps, data, and AI, that's one of our service lines that is working worldwide, but we have a subsidiary here in Poland. In Software One, we believe that in working in a data, you have to build, you have to know your goal, you have to build the solid foundation, and then you have to have a good support and maintenance to keep this platform up and running. So we have our, let's say, methodology that helps our customers to properly set the goal, and then step by step achieve the goal that is sometimes it's a better reporting, but sometimes a better decision in a business, but sometimes it's optimizing of the cost of a data platform. There are 400 people around the world in our data internal community. We work with 3 clouds, most clouds. The number one is Azure, obviously, but also we have the experience in AWS and Google. And looking from the perspective with the people are spread around the world, there are 70 delivery centers, and one of them is the delivery center in Poland. It has 3 offices in Warsaw, Lublin, and Bydgoszcz, and we have the culture here that you can work, full-time remotely for our company, and what we are mostly doing is on one side building the vision to our customers, on the other hand we are managing the current solutions. We serve our services for 20 countries mostly. This is Europe, but there are some customers from United States and North America. This is our technology stack. So we are, as I mentioned, focusing mostly on Microsoft stack, but also we do some solutions on AWS, mostly data science. We also do have the SAP team. So the breadth of the project and the knowledge could be interesting for someone who would like to join our company. This is the list of our customers that we are serving. It's different customers. We are not specifically focusing on one branch or one industry. There are telco customers, there is a healthcare customers, there is customers from retail, and I think that gives opportunity to work in our team for different industries. I strongly encourage to meet our speakers during the conference. There will be 2 sessions run today. Tomasz Waloszek will deep dive in a SQL Server topic, and as we also have a team experience in the data platform in FinOps, please join the session run by Artur Lachowicz and Piotr Balik. They will talk they share their, let's say, experience and tips and tricks how to, let's say, build the most optimized solution based on the data services. The last thing, it's kind of a, I would say, it's we try to it's the second time in a row we are on this conference, but also there is a contest that you can take part, a quiz, you can test your knowledge, where you can of course win a prize. But if you like to test your knowledge as a full stack data engineer, what you need to do is scan this QR code. It will be also available on our booth. And then there's 7 questions to be answered, and we are going to announce who is the winner tomorrow afternoon on a coffee break, 2:45. You can see the kind of results of the contents. There will be a report showing on our booth. You can see what is the quickest responses, what questions are, let's say, the toughest one or the easiest one. So you can also look and check or compare yourself with some statistics around this. And of course, you can win the prize. It's an Infinity Globe, so I think it could be a good kind of a gift that you can win on our booth. So thank you for this time, and I wish all of you good session, interesting topics, and let's meet on the at our stand.
Thank you very much, Software One and Lingaro. Please come over. So the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Sorry. Yeah. So my name is Błażej Chodarcewicz. I'm head of data engineering and data management in Lingaro. And today I would like to give you a few words about the company. And how many of you already know Lingaro? Please raise your hands. Okay, there is a number of people. So that's great. And I would like all of you to know Lingaro. So especially when you are data experts, Lingaro is all about data. We are focused only about the data service that we provide to our customers. And this is pretty unique, as the scale of the company is already quite big, especially for Polish environment. So we are more than 1,500 people already. And Lingaro is a company with Polish roots. So the company was founded in Poland. And right now we are a global company. We have sites in a few locations all around the globe. Also many technologies, everything related to data, major vendors that provide solutions within the data environment, and also partnership with the biggest one. Also, what is important, what I would like you to remember about Lingaro, there are three things. So one of them is balance between customers and people. For us, your development, you are the value of the company, but also the customers. So customers pay our bills, pay your salary. So that's why we need to care about them the same way as we need to care about you. And you can see this balance in our company. The second thing I would like you to remember is that the values are something that drives the company. You have 5 values that are the most important for us. Technology excellence, customer focus, collaboration, no barriers, and autonomy. I will not get into the details of all of these values. I encourage you to discuss with us, with colleagues that you can meet during this conference to ask them how it works in the reality. You can also discuss with me. I'm happy to tell you. And so these are the things that I would like you to remember. And again, I also encourage you to talk to us, especially to enter the session that will be conducted by Sarah and Shimon tomorrow. You will see our experts there and how we approach projects. And also, I encourage you to follow our LinkedIn site, and connect with me, or also discuss with our booth with our people there. So enjoy the event, learn the data topics, discuss with other here to get the knowledge, and stay connected. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel Lingaro. And now I would like to ask to come over our long friends TIDK. Here we go.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Jakub. It's my honor to represent TIDK company. We are a boutique data company located in Poznań with a small branch in Kraków. We are a company with top data experts. You may know some of us from the series of Arena of Architects, the series of webinars, which we publish every 3 weeks. We are here together with, this is Arena of Architects. We are here together with our partner Data.io, with their unique, modern data governance solutions. So if you are interested in such topics like data governance, you can find us in our booth in the foyer. So please come visit us. We are present for the whole conference. I would also like to encourage you to attend our sessions. We will have 2 sessions today and 3 sessions tomorrow with our experts. So yeah, please come, learn, and visit us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Emil. And the next sponsor that I want to ask is Volvo Group. Need 2 mics? Yep. Okay, take one, and the second one.
One, two, okay, it works. So welcome, we are Volvo Group, and today we'll tell you a bit what we are doing in our company.
In the past 2 editions of this great event, our company shared the broader picture of who we are, how many employees do we have, what country do we operate, and it is super important, it is super interesting, I guess, but still we decided to shift it a little this year.
Yeah, so this year we decided to focus on what for us as data experts is the most important, so the data itself.
Yeah, not just any data. We're talking about data comes from the real physical machines, the big machines. Those machines generates the huge volume of data. 8 seconds it operates, like really huge volumes of data. And by that, it drives our whole IT ecosystem. So yeah, let's move forward.
Yeah, but before we start, let's introduce ourselves. So,
No, not this one, the bigger one.
Not this one.
Big one.
Yeah. So my name is Patrycja Maszek-Kucia. I am a data governance process manager with 6 years of experience in Volvo Group. It's not a lot in our company. And I'm working with 2 areas, data governance and data modeling, mainly focusing on developing processes, standards, and services.
Yeah, and my name is Cezary Pospiszil. I'm a chapter lead for data analyst. Over 16 years working in data area, mostly BI and data warehousing. 8 years in Volvo, different positions, starting from BI developer, tech lead, data architect, and currently data architect with role of the chapter lead. Okay, moving forward, what we want to show you today. Today we want to take you more into the source of the data that we are working with. We want to show you how our products generate the data, how the data is consumed, how it's collected, and most importantly, how it drives the different decisions that provides us the better performance and better services.
Yeah. So now let's deep dive into the world behind the numbers. And our sources of those numbers are Volvo construction equipment, buses, marine engines and generators, and of course, Volvo trucks.
And didn't you forget about the cars?
Oh yeah, we really like Volvo cars. We are sharing the same logo, but our company is more into heavy-duty data.
Okay, so let's get back to this heavy-duty data and let's get back to the trucks.
Yeah. So back to our products, how we as a data expert see the truck.
So for us, a truck is a one big 40 tons running 90 kilometers per hour data factory.
Data factory that produce a lot of data.
And we mean a lot of data. So we work with over 6 million of active vehicles. 5 petabytes of data and still growing. It's growing like 40 terabytes daily, so it's really a lot. We work with over 70,000 of active users, providing them with over 10,000 of different applications and dashboards. Yeah, and let's take a look on how this truck actually drives the whole IT ecosystem in Volvo.
Yeah, so this is the way of data flow, and it drives, as you see, management, networking, and security.
And on top of this, the technology that we are working on. So we work with Azure, we work with data platform with Power BI, we work with Informatica, ADF, Databricks, and many, many more. And what's the most important here? We work with PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, so to conclude, we in Volvo work with data.
We work with truck data.
We work with noisy, heavy-duty truck data.
So, if you are interested in working with big data machine, let's connect. Let's connect on our stand, on our lecture tomorrow, and our social media. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Emil. So these were the platinum and gold sponsors. Thank you very much. And also we have another set of companies that help us. It's Capgemini, it's Data Race Lab, it's SII, Elite Mind, CNF, and Kursy Fabrik. And now I wanted to ask, or maybe change the subject a little bit. I want to ask on the stage somebody who likes skateboarding. Felix Wurzel. Ah, okay, you're gone. Where is your device? Maybe. Say something. Nothing.
I have to do it without microphone. I hope you can hear me.
No. Please, can you turn the mic on? The wireless one, the headset. Can you say something?
Yes, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
No. Do you want mine?
Yeah, I can take yours as well. It works? It works? It works? Ah, yeah, it works. Awesome. Ah.
Good.
All right, cool. So first challenge of the day. With that, okay. Thanks a lot, Hubert. Thanks a lot, Bartek and Natalia, for having me here today. I thought I'd come up with a fancy title, something with AI, because AI really sells these days. And I managed to get here, so what I actually want to talk about with you, it's not AI, I want to talk about skateboarding. Who of you have been on a skateboard before? Okay, I really can't see with the light. Wait. Yeah, better. Okay, who of you have been on a skateboard before? Okay, not that many. I think we have to change that. All right. Who of you knows what an ollie is? Yeah, awesome. So, for those of you who don't know what an ollie is and want to try in the afternoon, an ollie is, if you have this I don't have one with me right now, but if you have this imaginary skateboard, you press on the tail of the skateboard at the same time, so the skateboard goes up, you shove your foot forward so that it gets straight in the air, and all four wheels are up in the air, and then you land, ideally, without falling. The ollie was invented or discovered by accident sometime in the 70s by this gentleman. I'm still practicing my ollie, but in skateboarding, the ollie was an aha moment. It was a bit of a revelation because it opened up to doing things differently, a whole bunch of tricks that you would have otherwise not been able to do. The first one is the kickflip, and then there's all the other complex stuff that you do in Tony Hawk's Pro Skate. So alongside the ollie and the aha moments that I had at some point when I was a kid, I want to take you through a couple of aha moments that I had recently in the space of data and AI, and see where some of these aha moments maybe take us over the next couple of years. So with that, my name is Felix. I'm really happy to be here. I'm a corporate child. I grew up in manufacturing. I can very much relate to big, heavy trucks, machinery, noisy, messy data. Yes, that sounds familiar. So I always worked in like manufacturing. I built data platforms, and then for the past 3 years, I've been working with Databricks. Actually, I started using Databricks when I was still here in 2018. I think what Databricks has evolved quite a bit. Today, I work with customers across the entire region in Europe on their data strategies, on building a framework that is not just technical, but it also addresses process and people. And you can find me on LinkedIn if you want to keep in touch. Now, next question. Who of you knows Databricks? Oh, wow. That's a lot more than skateboarding. Awesome. That's good. All right. Maybe I should have asked the next question before flashing up the slide. So when was Databricks founded? It's behind me. Databricks as a company comes from academia. So, and while usually a lot of people by now know Databricks, not everybody knows this founding story, and that was a couple of PhD students at UC Berkeley who wanted to do big data processing, machine learning, and built the framework, an open source software in order to do that. Well, then they said, hey, it would be great if we could offer this as a managed service, and back then, Databricks was still this managed Spark company. Today, we are the data and AI company. Databricks as a platform runs on all the 3 hyperscalers. We have, I think, come quite a long way. The platform is addressing a different need today than what it did when I started using it. We are still private. So that gives us the opportunity to invest a lot, much more than any other company of our size, into actual product development. So a very good share of our revenue actually flows directly back into the product, and that is what you can see with the innovation that we're driving. One thing probably to point out, something that for me also has a personal touch, is the partnership that we announced with SAP beginning of this year. So I come from big corporate. Obviously, SAP is a big topic, and typically it is hard to get data out of the SAP system. I think this is something that is gradually changing and opens up a host of new possibilities. All right, if you want to find out more about Databricks, I asked Perplexity. You can find the answer via the QR code. And now I want to talk about some of these things and some of these changes that I see in the data and AI space. So I built data platforms. I spent some time in enterprise architecture. So again, I'm very good with slides. And if you think about, or if I think about, or if we think about enterprise architecture, it's typically a very box-oriented model, right? So there's users that are swimming around in this equilibrium of multinational organization. There is a certain business process that runs along the value chain probably. And then underneath that business process, you have applications that realize this business process. Applications produce data, and data gets flushed down into infrastructure. So far, so good. When we think about this centerpiece of application, then this model drives a lot of how user experience is created and how user experience manifests today. So you have a user that along a business process interacts with usually not just one, but several user interfaces. A user interface ideally is straightforward, easy to work with, and it generates data that lands in some kind of database. Typically, that's rather proprietary because, you know, I want to protect my business and stuff as a software vendor. And then obviously there's an API in order to exchange with other systems. So the three, and I'm going to spoiler the three themes that will determine the structure for the next 20 minutes. We're going to talk about changes in user experience. We're going to talk about how the commoditization of AI drives a lot of change overall, and we're going to talk about a unification when it comes to the storage layer. So every time when you see the Ollie GIF, then there's another of my aha moments. And let's start with AI. This gentleman over there is Jevons. William Jevons in the 19th century described the Jevons paradox. Anybody familiar with it? Ooh, okay, one, that's good. No, two. So usually not something that you talk so much about in tech, that's rather from economics. Basically what the paradox says is that if you have a commodity that drops in price, it can lead to a surge in demand, and with that increase the total consumption. For him, that was fuel back then, or electricity. For us today, that's AI. We see how the learning per dollar has dropped dramatically over the past years, and it will continue doing so. There's innovation happening all over the place, and it's at the benefit of everybody in this data and AI space. Now, this is a screenshot from our advanced research team between New York and San Francisco. And now, what we've seen over the past definitely 2 years, before that as well, but I think over the past 2 years really picked up, is that it doesn't really matter what my product is, it has to have some kind of AI bolted onto it. Whether that was now really a functional thing or whether it was just marketing, well, we'll just leave it there. But it definitely sells well. Now, what I found really interesting about the past, say, 2.5 years ever since GPT 3.5 came out, is that with GPT 3.5, that was a lot of excitement. It was this, oh wow, our chatbots that before were a bit clunky, but sometimes a bit gibberish in their answers, they sounded really polished now. Just the result was not necessarily high quality. That was 2020. Now 23, we did a lot with RAG, yes, but I felt, at least personally, we spent most of our time with benchmarking. Oh, there's this new model that came out, it's a little bit better than the other model, and next 2 weeks there's again a new model, and this is closed source, the other one is open source, and so on and so forth. I think we could have probably invested our time a bit more wisely. And then last year, a bit of the inflection point happened, where more and more people said, okay, it is great that we have a large language model that is able to answer all kinds of trivia, but what I really want is AI or a model that understands my data, that understands my context of my business, the industry that I'm working in, the role that I am. And I think this is really changing now. Last year, more than a year ago, when I talked about compound AI systems, people were like, what? I know ChatGPT and like we have this one monolithic model. The change that has happened over the past year alone, moving from this one monolithic model that I tried to use and solve everything with, to systems of AI workflows, agentic AI that collaborate, where an agent understands a task and then uses tools in order to solve a problem, and not just do a diagnosis, but recommend the next best action and actually act on it. That is huge. And I think, well, now we're already half into the year of 25. 25 will continue to be the year of agentic AI. Curious to see what 26 brings. Now, with that, I think going forward, it will not be so much anymore about bolting AI onto my existing application. AI will immerse into my application, and it will probably shake some things up over there. And with that, we're with aha moment number 2, and now from AI becoming commoditized, we're moving to the user experience and what AI might be doing there. Who of you knows A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz? Come on. There's probably somebody in the back who knows it. If not, big recommendation. Andreessen Horowitz is a venture capital firm from the Bay Area. Great podcasts, a lot of thought leadership, great blogs as well. By the QR code, you can find this blog, was end of last year. Talks about the messy inbox problem, and it talks about something that I can at least very much relate to. So it is Monday morning, I had a nice weekend, I start into my workday, and I'm gonna go into my email program, and then I jump into the CRM system, and then I go into some other custom system, and at the end of the day, I will probably have touched 25 different systems in order to get my job done. This is something where we see today already AI tooling help. They call it the AI wedge. Can probably give it a different name, but it does definitely help that AI goes in there and says, okay, I understand your email, next best action is you need to book a flight to Wrocław, and then it jumps from my email program to the travel booking program. Great. But does AI really enjoy jumping between 25 different systems? Not so sure. That's why I think also the outlook at the end of that blog post is interesting, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit. Now, if we keep it a little bit on the UX side of things, UX is more than the UI, but usually the user interface is the predominant or prevalent thing that you see when it comes to UX. And a user interface is a way for a user to show intent. And user interfaces can either be very precise or very accessible. So very precise, maybe some of you know this one. Who know the sub GUI? Okay, so there's a few hands up. All right, awesome. So this is a great example for precise user interface, because you have 50 different fields. You basically need a PhD in order to know what goes where. But once you do, it underneath has an incredibly powerful and efficient system at processing data, transactional data, in an ERP system. Now, on the other hand side, you have WeChat. Who of you knows WeChat? There's a few more. Cool. So WeChat, 10 years ago, I didn't know WeChat 10 years ago when a friend of mine moved to China. And he was like, well, if you want to keep in touch, get WeChat. And I was like, but I have WhatsApp. Well, it's China. WeChat has a monopoly, or back then already had a monopoly position. And WeChat was doing things that was 10 years ago here in the rest of the world, like hard to imagine. You had this one app where you could do anything on everything, from chatting with your friends, doing financial transactions, booking an appointment for your dog's hairdresser, and while you're waiting, order some food. Crazy level of integration into this just one app to kind of like rule all of the other services. And now if you let AI loose onto process and UI that define to large extents the user experience, I think a lot is going to happen. And we see that today already. Many people use ChatGPT as the starting point into the internet today. And that change happened just over 2 years. That was previously Google, and before that Yahoo, and so on and so forth. You see that there are agents, like for example Manners, that where I prompt and it generates stuff for me. And it doesn't just suggest this next action, but also where to do it. And we see that there's an increasingly a change in also how we think about, for example, mobile device. Where currently a lot of this is centered around, okay, I swipe up, down, left, right. There's a few different companies currently experimenting with what is going to be the user experience of the future and what will be the device for it. My favorite was, so far at least, this little rabbit device. Not sure if some of you stumbled across that. It was probably 1 or 2 years ago, which was basically just a little box, and it only had a microphone. You just talk to it, and then it does stuff. Not even a display or anything. I think I'm not sure whether it's still around. I like the idea though. Sorry? It was a scam. Sorry? They sold it already. Okay, good. That's good for them. And good for me to know that it was a scam. Good that I didn't buy it. The other thing that AI is changing is process. So today, process is very descriptive, where you say, okay, you do step 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a couple of if clauses, and then you have to know, and so on and so forth. Process mining has been around for a while. Access to data, AI, can understand how a process should be, how it really is, and what is an optimal way to go about it. So I think there's going to be a lot of change. Whether there is going to be this just one interface to kind of like rule them all, this just one magic prompt box that makes at least my life easier by not having to jump into 20 different applications. I don't think so. Because while for some use cases, for some applications, this might make sense, for others, you still need a specialized user interface. Something that gives you tools when you're, I don't know, for example, designing a machine or a car or something. But there will be change, and that is for sure. And with that, let's jump into aha moment number 3, because we talked about AI becoming commoditized. We talked about changes in the user experience. And now, when we look at storage, and I come from a big corporate manufacturing, man, had we a lot of different systems. Not just in the business process side, only if we look at the data and AI side of things. This is really complex to navigate. There are a lot of silos that you need to integrate. And now, one of the things that is becoming quite a mainstream, let me test my hypothesis. Who of you knows Lakehouse? Okay, so that is actually quite a bit. So Lakehouse was postulated 5 years ago. Ever since, I do think it has become a bit of a mainstream data architecture for a platform. And via the QR code, you can find the original research paper that talks about how to bring the performance and reliability that you know from a data warehouse onto the scale, elasticity, and also cost effectiveness of a data lake. Data lakes that previously I had seen turn into data swamps much more often than not. And I think today pretty much every software vendor in the data and AI space have found their interpretation of a lakehouse, which I think is great because it underscores the vision that was there. Bring all of your data into this unified layer, a unified layer of open storage in an open format, and unified governance. Governance that is not just about tables of structured data, but it's also about unstructured data. It's about AI models. It is about ETL pipelines. It is about dashboards. It's the whole thing, and it brings that lineage to you so you can understand what is going on, and more importantly, not just you, but also the AI, when it tries to answer questions from all over the organization. So what might that do to our illustration here and our boxes thinking? I think, while it probably doesn't make sense for all, but there might be some applications that will increasingly start to first create connectivity to this data layer in a sense of either federating data or directly copying data in a change data capture fashion, or that might also at some point start to natively write into this unified storage layer. So where might this take us going forward? Now, I already alluded to one possible avenue, and that is this, okay, so if you think about an open storage layer, can be object storage, doesn't have to be. A place where all of an organization's data can land, irrespective of the format, the size, the speed, where you have probably underneath different technologies, something like cheap data store like the object store that we know today, then some kind of transactional processing capability, then some kind of a short memory layer, and so on and so forth. But all of these different technologies bundled or hidden underneath one API to talk to, and with one consistent governance model on top. I think this is something that until today is a vision that resonated very much with the data professional. Me as a data professional, I say, I don't want to have to manage 5 different data platforms. I want to have one ideally where I can flush all my data into. Now, this is something that I believe also resonates a lot with AI. And with this resonating with AI, this push for, okay, unified data, unified storage, has just gotten a whole new drive. And I do think that we will see quite a bit of change in the way of how we store and access data over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, the second one, we touched a little bit upon that one already as well, is okay, what about the user interface? Is it maybe going to be this one chatbot or this one chat box that I enter what I want to have done, or my Meta glasses, or some kind of device that I talk to? Would be interesting, curious to see where that go. I do think when it comes to UI, there is probably still a bit of more variance. But if you now combine that, and if you step one step backwards and say, okay, let's not just look at this in the context of maybe my organization or my product that I'm building. Let's have a look at this outside. Then I think this whole aspect of sharing data in this age of AI becomes much more important. Also, because if you think about it, what is happening right now is that the old pact of the internet, or the general assumption under which the internet worked, is changing, and it's changing fundamentally. Because basically, if we let's take GPT as an example. So GPT scraped and still scrapes the entire internet. Everything is there. I am a content creator. I have a little website, a blog where I write about things. ChatGPT scrapes that and provides that in its answers. Now, in the past, I let Google scrape my website in order for Google to redirect traffic to my website. And traffic I can then somehow monetize on. When I type my question into ChatGPT, I get a nicely formatted answer back. Sure, I get those backlinks, or I can see the sources, but how many of you do actually click on the sources and go through? So I think when it comes to content creation in the World Wide Web, there's a lot changing. And there will be a counter movement, one way or another, to certify and also to monetize on original content, original ideas. Ideas that the AI by itself would not have been able to come up with. And that again has an implication on how we store and access data. So with that, we're going to pick up on Sequoia Capital. I found this one very interesting, where Sequoia is talking about, okay, this is the world as we know it. These are some of the disruptions that we had in the past. So that was cloud, mobile. This has created a lot of new companies, a lot of new products, and it has made some others super, super big, while some others vanished. And now we are at this new age of AI, and the change is probably going to happen at a much faster rate. Now, you have the big companies there, the big AI companies that are building the models that the majority of people use. And then there's a lot of companies on top of that who are building AI applications. I think one thing that I use quite a bit, or tool that I use quite a bit, is Glean. So this is great for knowledge in an enterprise context, to find out what my colleagues have already produced in materials over a certain topic. And on the other hand side, Cursor. So I'm a okay-ish, semi-okay-ish programmer. And with Cursor, I was surprised to see what you can actually do there. And what I'm even more surprised is how much this speeds up the time to create in organizations. Now, if you think about these kind of applications, up there in the top corner with AI, empowered by the big model companies underneath. How long is it going to stay that way? And I think this has a lot to do also with moat. So what is my moat as an application? What is my moat as a product? Is that about a specific user experience, something that people relate to or where they love the brand? Well, it's more difficult to create a unique brand if I am behind this kind of like ChatGPT bar and nobody ever sees my application because they're all just looking at a text box. It has to do with data, and the thing that I think we all see is AI needs data more than data needs AI. So what happens over here in that white space? That's going to be something that will be super interesting over the next couple of years. I'll be around. You can find me today at the conference to discuss about that or anything else. Since we're talking about conference, here's one more. Databricks Data and AI Summit taking place in San Francisco next month. This was going to be 20,000 people on site, but there's also a virtual version to it, so you can follow the live stream. Virtual bit is entirely for free. Tune in. A lot of the thought leaders in this data and AI space are going to be there, are going to talk, and hopefully provide one or the other interesting idea. Cool. And with that, last plug. This is my little one. He loves to help me write code, and he's probably better at it than me. In the afternoon, I'll walk a little bit through the Databricks platform. What's in there? How does it work? How can you massage some data, use some of the tools that are available there? So drop by, and with that, thank you very much, and I wish you a great conference today, and back over to you, Hubert.
Thank you very much, Felix. That was great, but I still think that Oli movement in my age is not the safest one. So, couple of announcements. So, do you know this guy? Caramba. This guy lives in Bielsko-Biała, and we are organizing SQLDay Light this year, and the CFS is open. So everyone who wants to speak there, please submit your sessions on Sessionize. Just look for SQLDay Light 2025, and then the CFS is already open. Another thing is that our friend Marcin Szeliga, he's a co-author of his newest book, and he will be signing the book today at 3:10 and also tomorrow just before the noon. You will have a chance to win those books during breakout sessions if you know if there are going to be like questions and you answer that question well, then you may have a chance to get that book, and then rush to Marcin to put his autograph. And this book is about the usage or application of AI in medicine, and it's not like this can be the content of this book can be applied only to medicine. It takes you through the whole journey from law aspects, ethics, and so on, how to store, protect data. It's very good for data architects who want to work with machine learning systems and AI systems. And we got a few logistics. So to operate effectively on our conference, you need a Hoover application. So find Hoover application, your email which you were using to register for this conference is something to be used to log in into Hoover. We post any agenda changes, any announcements there. So it's a very efficient tool to also to communicate with each other. These ones, the conference badges, you need to have them, we need to see them, especially security, because if security does not see something like that, they will, you know, grab by your neck, throw away to zoo over there. In foyer by the entrance, the place where you were collecting your goodie bags, you should also collect like the orange wristbands, because for the party tonight you don't have to bring this because it will be problematic when you dance. But we have also like orange wristbands which will allow you to stay in this venue for tonight. So we also need your feedback. So in the Hoover applications, each session has a feedback section, also the whole conference. You can tell us what is wrong, what did you like, coffee was good or not, and so on and so on. And the agenda is constructed in such a way that we have still a lot of time to meet new people, talk about things that you have, you know, that worry you in your life or in your work. This is also an opportunity to broaden your circle of friends. And we have a lot of sponsors this year, so there's a lot of fun on their booths. So visit them one by one, see what they have. And if you post anything, use SQLDay hashtag. So then you're going to get, you know, more fame. You're going to be more visible on social media. And you can collect points because there is some sort of a gamification turned on. But we count the points starting from 9 a.m. today. So everything which was collected until 9 a.m. today, we're going to, you know, scrap or take away. And then we will see what are the results on the leaderboard on the closing session tomorrow. And the person who is going to have the highest result, then that person gets a free entrance for the next year's conference. And there is also a section to upload photos, because we may have, if we see that these photos are better than last year, then we also can give away a free entrance for the next year's conference. So another thing is, like, if you need any help, if you don't know where the toilet is or something like that, you will see people in these white jerseys with these orange dots. They are helpers. They are also present on every session, and then they can also help you to go around this venue. And 6 p.m. today, we have a tradition to make a photo like this one. So we gather between the conference center and the fountain, and we will make a photo like this one, and we post it, and you will be able to find yourself later on social media. So enjoy SQL Day 2025.